gonna talk about turtle defense, right? So bottom person's perspective of being in turtle, especially when we have somebody kind of on the side. Remember, bottom person wants to try and stay as tucked in as possible, elbows in, inside of the knees, right? Depending on if we're in the gi or not, like we might have home alone face, we might go cross, right? Just to defend so people aren't coming in and getting grips. I might have just smacked you in the face, sorry. Top person's gonna be trying to jostle and move you around. So bottom person also thinking about keeping a nice wide base, like nice wide knees, toes touching, kind of like you're in a child's pose position. That way it's gonna be harder for them to just kind of like push you over and knock you and move you, okay? So the first thing I wanna kind of talk about for the bottom person is our Granby roll, okay? So if we switch, right, and Nicole's on top, and this is gonna be typically when somebody is doing that nice, like hip to hip pressure, nice and heavy here, right? So top person, we've talked about this and we'll talk about the Peterson roll in a second, but always be mindful of where your arms are. I'm not gonna just come in and hug if I don't know where I'm going or why I'm using my grip, right? I wanna be very intentional with my grips, my seat belts, my power halves, right? So I just like to kind of anchor, be heavy, elbow in nice and tight, hip to hip. So if she's doing this to me, right, I'm all buttoned up, I'm tight here, I've turtled, I want to get to a better position for myself here because I don't want her to try and take the back. I don't want her to create space and get me to a worse position. I obviously turtled for a reason. Maybe I was preventing a pass or she snapped me down and we got down to this like takedown position. So I want a nice strong base, but now I want to be able to get to a better spot for me to start attacking. So as I'm here and I feel her pressure weighted in, what I want to do is I'm going to start looking away from her. I'm going to tuck this arm and I'm gonna start getting up on my toes. Okay, so I get to my toes and I'm gonna look away and just do a forward roll. But what I don't wanna do is I don't wanna just roll like this and give her side control, okay? That's not good. So I need to use her weight and my butt and tripod up. So as I'm here, I tuck my head in my shoulder, I'm gonna get on my toes and I'm gonna pop my butt up, okay? My butt's gonna push into her armpit. And as I do that, I come up and then I'm gonna turn and use my like hamstring and shin or calf against her ribs and it kind of rotates me and spins me into a guard, okay? Usually you'll probably end up in closed guard. Maybe I'll get into an open guard. But if I can grab her arm at the same time, that's gonna help me even if I get a 2-on-1 or a neck and arm grip or double wrist control. I wanna pull her arm towards me as I suck my hips up towards her. I might need that leverage, especially if I'm kind of here and I need to close the space. Like get your grip, pull her towards you as you bring your hips towards them. Okay? So let's look at this again. And then I'll do invisible partner. So we're here. She's putting pressure into me. I'm gonna look away. I start getting to my toes. As I'm gonna kind of get to my shoulder, I load my toes. But I don't pop my butt until I'm ready to go. When I'm ready, I'm gonna pop my butt up, grab her, and come right in. I could even maybe get into a triangle right away too, right? Which then I can just start setting up my triangle attacks, right? But without her, if she's driving in, I'm gonna tuck, I get to my toes. So originally I was on my laces, I get to my toes, and now I'm gonna pop my butt up and then rotate and spin. Okay, so I need the pop of the booty. It's like I almost tripod up and I'm pushing into her as then I shoo. So it's not like a full inversion, but kind of like a half or a quarter, okay? So use their resistance to help you push back into them, pop up, and then you're gonna face them and get into a guard, okay? Do you need to see that? Okay, any questions? Let's give it a shot, 1, 2, 3. Now we're gonna talk about what happens when we're here and someone's on the side. This is also gonna be very much if they're on the side. It's gonna be hard if they're on the back, but they start coming into hug or tight waist here, right? And this is where I was talking about as a top person's perspective. You want to just be very mindful of where you're putting your arms, okay? Because as soon as I feel this, I'm going to come back right away and isolate her elbow, okay? You can grab with the wrist control, but I feel like her elbow's strong. If you can control elbows and hips in jiu-jitsu, you're on a good path, right? You've got good control. So if I can take my elbow pit and come behind and trap her elbow, it's going to be a lot stronger. It's harder for her to pull this arm out. So now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dissolve this leg back. I'm going to sprawl the outside leg back. And I'm not doing a forward roll on this one. I'm literally just going to tuck this leg and roll to my side. So I'm going to tuck it and roll, and I come up right away. I'm going to bridge into her. So my like shoulder and upper back and body is on her chest. So from here, I still have this arm controlled. My weight's in here. I can feel Nicole does not like this. I'm going to start rotating and getting into a nice side control. I felt your body shake. Sorry. Nice and heavy. But if I don't drive into her, she can like start taking my back. Okay? So let's do this again. We're here. I come back. I'm going to isolate. I feel that, right? Nice trap, nice bite. I'm going to extend this leg back. Boom, and I'm just going to the side, and I come up right away. I'm not stopping here. Here, yep, I feel like she's going to adjust, and she can just start taking my back. Exactly. So I'm driving into her. I've got this arm isolated. You could get a nice wrist lock here too if you want. I want to just be careful. I'm not going to hang out here. I don't want her to start like taking my limbs. So I keep everything nice and tight, and then I start just rotating. If I can rotate and even start bringing my elbow behind her tricep, I can get into this nice Bravo grip right away. Like I do want to be careful that they can't come around and just take my head, right? When I'm coming to the side. So if I can get this elbow to control their elbow, as then I turn, that's great. I'm trying to take a little weight off of you. I don't want to like end up like in a buggy choke position either. So I'm trying to really isolate the arm and come around. I could go, right, as Jake was going, like he was here and turning this way. So I could turn this way and get into katami, right? But I need to be careful here. Like I can start doing different submissions here too, near side arm locks and stuff. But she has the underhook. So if she starts pulling this elbow to the mat and getting to her side, she can start taking my back. So just be very cautious on either way you kind of turn. You can go either way, but there's going to be pros and cons to both. Okay? So just pay attention and be careful with that. Stay nice and heavy, drive, and then try and get like the most ideal control possible. If someone is behind you, so let's say Nicole's got some control behind me, yep. What can happen versus the side to side, right? It's hard to kind of go for the Granby maybe, and it's harder to go for the Peterson because she's not in line with my hips. But if she's behind me in this position, I'm gonna have a little bit more access to her leg. So what can happen too is if like, you know, I can get this, I can come through and get it if her leg's up, but a lot of times, sometimes people will have this knee down maybe, right? And it's right in between. She's just behind me here thinking she's getting good control. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna look away, okay? Just like I'm gonna forward roll, and I'm gonna take my hand and I'm gonna come in between her leg. I'm just gonna grab under her leg. So I can post this hand on the mat. I can start getting to my toes. I'm gonna tuck my shoulder as I start rolling through. I wanna grab under her knee pit, and then I'm just gonna turn and rotate, and bam, I'm hugging a nice leg here, right? So I'm gonna pinch my knees. I'm gonna come in and hug now behind her ankle. I can even like grab her toe if I want to, right? Grab the toes, grab the heel. I'm gonna pinch. Okay, and now I'm just gonna thrust my hips forward, and there we have the knee bar. Okay, so let's rewind that. We're here, they're behind me. I'm gonna start coming underneath. Even if she's posted, right, which can happen, I can still get underneath this knee. right? So I'm gonna come in, grab, and then I just dive through. If I can knock her over, this is great. She can maybe stay up on her knee. Yep, and then I can start, you know, getting into different types of ways to stretch out the knee. But if I can be really heavy and kind of knock her here, I'm just gonna hug. Yep, I knock her down to get, I want, like, you can stay tight to her hip, but this was from a Nikki Sullivan seminar. I really like this detail too. She just actually kind of adjusts to get her hip right across the knee. And it makes it a lot nastier and harder for her to turn out. So I'm gonna pinch and then thrust my knees as I keep her heel nice and close to my shoulder and body. I'm gonna just start tucking my shoulder, doing a forward roll, coming back to his knee. I'm gonna suck that in towards me and boom, stretch him out right away. If I keep him bent, he's gonna be able to get up to his knee and this is a battle and then this can turn into a pass. So I wanna go for the heel and stretch him out. Okay, I can triangle my legs here, pinch, hug, and then I just like to bring this heel and foot towards my shoulder. And then I'm just gonna thrust my hips. I'm gonna come underneath, grab the knee, bring it towards me, and you know, use the top leg to even like control his body, right? And get him to shift away so that I can get better alignment. As soon as I pull through, I wanna grab the heel and hug it, okay? I can triangle my legs here to make it nice and tight on the hip. But here, maybe like I don't have the angle totally right and it's hard for me to finish it, right? Or his knee slightly bent. So what I can do is I can just grab his toes and I can pass his foot towards my top pit. Now, I feel like this is already tight. I can even just bring this to my chest and kind of thrust. But if I can make it, I'm gonna loosen up a little on Dave. If I can make it and get it underneath my top armpit and bring my elbow nice and tight and then just thrust my hips, it's right there, okay? Super, super tight, okay? So if we're here, right, and I've got this nice triangle, boom, I'm holding, hugging, and thrusting my hips. Maybe I get it, but if it's a little janky or loose, I can pull this across. I can even just hug it to my chest and kind of thrust my hips or bring it underneath my armpit. And now from here, yeah, super, super tight, okay? So just play with that a little bit too if you need to, making it tighter. 1, 2, 3.